Alright, guys, so today's review is going to be a little more different from previous reviews because this time it's a water park, as you guys can see, but it's still a theme park. Even though I say that I do theme park reviews, it doesn't mean that a water park can't be a theme park. So I'm just going to tell you that right away, that a water park is still a theme park, and Aquatic Orlando is nothing different. Aquatic Orlando opened up on March 1st, 2008, and is located right by SeaWorld and Discovery Cove, which are two sister parks. Discovery Cove is a sister park to Aquatic Orlando and a sister park to SeaWorld Orlando. The Aquatica is themed after the southern Pacific island in Australia, which I don't really know what kind of island or which island, but it's supposed to be it has an Australian theme. Don't know if I can say it works extremely well, but I do have to say that it actually works pretty nicely. Aquatica is actually a very colorful water park. It looks really great and really good. The actual park looks amazing. When you walk into the park, the cool thing about walking into the park is that it has this nice logo once you park your car. You walk into the entrance. There's this nice logo that says Aquatica. There's a little waterfall to it, also behind the logo. And of course, you walk into the turnstiles. There's these nice brickwork and kind of like this. I don't know. I would say kind of ancient brickwork along the buildings that's there, which is really nicely done. Of course, the turnstiles, there's not much to them, even though when I went to the park, it was extremely packed. Every time I went there, it was like, I had lines, and I do have to say myself that the actual queue areas, not the queue area, the turnstile areas, the actual lines for the turnstiles, there should be much more than just three of them. Like, literally, there's just three turnstiles. Three. Like, SeaWorld has like five, and Aquatica has three of them. Don't know why, but hey, it's Aquatica. But when you walk into Aquatica, one of the cool things about walking into Aquatica is that when you just go through the entrance, the first thing you see is still the brickwork that's actually being done from the outside to the inside of the park. And you kind of turn into a curve where on your right side you see like the lazy river. On your left side you see the aquarium that holds the Commercial dolphins, which are the dolphins that the main attraction of it, called the Dolphin Plunge slide, which goes into this little area, this little open tunnel where you see the dolphins for like a 1.5 seconds. Like, literally just that. It's really short. It's really quick too. But I think that's one of the coolest parts about just walking into the park. But the park is beautiful. Literally, the park is beautiful. It's full of color. Every single slide has color to them. Like, it literally is, I don't know, it's like a rainbow. It's literally just a rainbow in front of you because there's just slides that look beautiful. They look great. And of course, everything is just a little bit above you, and you hear this kind of music. I forget what kind of. I would love to say that it's kind of like Australian music, but I wouldn't say that because that's just being, I don't know, it's being a little bit off. But I would say that the music that they play in the area is really good, and Aquatic gives you this kind of joyful feel. Kind of like how if you ever go to Universal Studios Florida, there's a bit of music that plays that kind of gets you kind of feeling in a good mood. And also that happens also with Universal Studios or Universal Sounds of Adventure, and also happens here as well. As for the actual park itself, it looks amazing. It does. I really have to say it. When you're walking into the areas, it's really nice. Finding a place to sit or put your stuff down because it's a water park, there's enough spaces, but you might not. When you go later, there's not going to be a chance you're going to be finding the best place ever. Sometimes you might just find it. A lot of people go to the beach area because not really anybody goes to the beach area, but there's always a whole bunch of chairs in the beach area. Some people try to get it by the lazy river, which is also a good place, but it's kind of more open to where people are. Of course, one of the few things I had a bit of a gripe on was that they didn't have any snack areas where, like, if you had to do a little picnic area, they didn't have that. Because in Aquatica, they don't allow picnic areas, which I thought was really kind of off and weird. So that was the only thing that I thought was kind of off and weird. And also, one of the best parts of Aquatica is the fact that Aquatica is actually a family water park. It literally is for everybody. There's not been one slide I went on that I haven't seen I don't know, 6, 7 year old or 4 or 5 year old that's possibly about, like, I don't know, I'm not really even really standing up, but I'll say like yay tall. Um I would always usually see somebody about that tall. Literally, if because I'm about 5'9", and I would see like a kid that's about maybe like 3 to 4 feet tall. For me, I was like, yeah, that fine. There's kids that's going on slides that's just as tall as the their toboggan slides. And the toboggan slides are like one of the tallest attractions in the park. It's literally really tall. I would say it's about the same height as not that close though, but I was about to say it's the same height as Kraken, but I would say it's about the same height as Journey to Atlantis. So if you're going to Journey to Atlantis, just look to your left or right, and you might see that building right there, the actual slides right there. So I would say it's roughly about that tall or higher, but because that slide is one of the tallest slides in the park, and it's the second tallest slide in the park because there's another slide that's a family slide, it's a family raft slide that is actually just a little bit taller, if not the same height as the toboggan slides, which actually is really cool. What's the name of this slide anyway? It's called. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Tamada Racers. Tamada Racers. That's what the slide is called. It's really tall, really good, and it's really fun. Go on it every single time. I always go on it every single time I ever go to Aquatica because it's my favorite slide. But that's one of the best parts about Aquatica is because one of the best parts about Aquatica is the fact that it's actually for the family. This is one of the only water parks where you'll be able to enjoy every single slide with every single member of your family. No matter what, except for if he's like 2 to 3 years old, you may not be able to enjoy with him. But at least if they're like 4 to 5 years old, you'll be able to enjoy every single slide together because this park is perfect for a family. So let me get on to what's good about the park and what's bad about the park. Alright, so what's good about the park? As I already stated, number one is that the park is family friendly. This park is one of the most family friendly water parks in Orlando, even more family friendly than the Disney water parks. And even I can admittedly say that the Disney water parks are not Disney quality, but this water park is actually definitely Disney quality. This park actually is made for family and it's made for everybody to enjoy it all at the same time, which I found was really good. There's two lazy rivers, one that's actually nice and warm that I love to go in and I just stay there because it's warm. I don't like cold water when I go to a water park. I really don't. I don't know who would like cold water when they go into into a pool. It sucks. It sucks. So there isn't like the water they have here is nice and cool. Sometimes cold if you go into certain water, one of the certain pools, and of course some of the water is just right and sometimes even really nice and warm, like one of these lazy rivers. I think it's the center. It's the center lazy river. If you go into the water park, it's the center lazy river that actually is the warmest in all the water rides. Out of all the water rides, that's there. In total, I gotta say that the actual park is very family friendly. Every single slide I've been on, I always found everybody in the family about 4 to 5 years old. Well, from I would say 4 to like 30 or 6 years old going on every single slide together. There hasn't been any slide in the park where I've seen one of the lifeguards say to the kids that they say to the parent or the kid that they couldn't go on the slide because every single slide the kid can go on. So I was like, you know what? That's not bad. That is actually not bad at all. The second good fact is the fact that every single slide I've been on in the park was actually really good. There's not one where I can actually say that was kind of boring and you don't really have to do it. You can just skip it. Every single one I felt that you have to try at least once, and I felt they were actually pretty good. I wouldn't say great. But they were good. They were good for every single person in the family, and I found them to be fun and enjoyable. But I already said my personal favorite is Tamada Racers, which is the toboggan racer slide, which is possibly one of the best slides in the park. And of course, the third thing is the fact the park has a lot of places to sit. Literally, not every single water park has enough places to sit, or pretty much places to put your stuff down, and you don't have to really worry about it. When I went to Typhoon Lagoon, I was about to say Lagoon. I don't know. When I went to Typhoon Lagoon, we found a place kind of quickly, but it was right on it was right in front of the wave pool. But we were trying to get some place kind of more in the shade, and unfortunately, we got it right in the sun and also right on the sand. For us, when I went to Aquatica, I found when we went to Aquatica, we found places on a beach side. We found places in the shade. We found places in front of with a water slides, which there's always usually places in front of certain water slides. I always found a certain place to put stuff down and go to the slides, which I felt was really good about the park. Now, what's bad about the park is my number one thing, and some people may say this is just nitpicking, but I would honestly say this: the park can't grow. That's my number one fact. It's the fact that the park was built kind of weirdly and not put into the right place. Like literally, the park's back, it's towards the back of the road, which like most theme parks usually do that, which is ridiculous. I don't know why they do that. Just why you put it to the back of the road? Like why you put the back of the park to the back of the road? You don't do that. You build it towards more land so you can grow the park. But instead they just have it kind of in this weird spot where the parking lot is towards the back of the land, where there's more backland behind you, and of course the water park is in the center but towards the road. And of course, since it's a Florida state road, Florida is not going to get rid of that road unless SeaWorld just buys the crap out of that road and says, well, my road now. But I don't think they would do that because SeaWorld is right across the street. So I was like, this is the worst made water park ever. And of course, on the sides of the actual water park, there's not enough space to go towards the right because at least towards the interstate, the interstate highway, which leads to I-4, the I-4 highway, the interstate highway, and of course towards the left is just parking lot and a little bit more land. If they wanted to get rid of the parking lot and merge it with the guest parking lot, they could. And the parking lot's also really small, so if there's actually supposed to be a capacity of people that stay at the park, then, and there was supposed to be much more than that, the park wouldn't be able to kind of overfill in one certain day, which is kind of weird and already kind of one of the weirdest parts of the park, because the park is actually well visited every single year. It's actually one of the top grossing parks every single year for a water park, because it is really fun. What can I say? It's also really freaking beautiful, really. After that, all I can say is that the park is just really not well built, but it's actually well situated and all that stuff. It's really great considering that it could serve the space and use what it could in a proper way. But the only thing is that the water park can't grow, and especially if it needs to have more rides or more slides, it would have to get rid of something. And I usually hate when a park has to get rid of something. I know a lot of people say that too, that they hate when a park has to get rid of something. There's no reason for them to get rid of something. Instead, they should just expand the land. But here, SeaWorld, I don't know what they were thinking when they're building Aquatica, but there's no space for them to expand the land here. So I felt that the park was not well built. The second thing is, there's not enough thrill slides. Like, there's good thrill slides, but there's not enough great thrill slides. Like, if you wanted to have a drop down slide, it's about 75-degree drop, like the ones that you see at Blizzard Beach or your local water park or at Wet n Wild. You don't get those extreme slides. Here you get kind of more mild slides. So it goes from simple slides to mild slides. And I felt that was kind of odd and weird, but I do feel that I do like the fact that the actual park gives a chance for all the families to enjoy the slide together as a family. I just felt that the park was kind of weird, that just the fact that it didn't have any slides for the more thrill junkies that say, I don't know if I'm going to do that, and they just still do it anyway. But here, there's none of those slides here, so that's why I was saying that's why there's good slides, but there's not great slides. I love a good slide. I love a good mild slide, as long as it's really fun. And while these slides are actually pretty fun, some of them are just pretty much old, generic slides. I just didn't find it to me really good. So for me, I just said to myself that this is they're just good slides. And my third and final point is the fact that the slides here are. My third and final point is just the fact that the actual park is just kind of a 6 to 8 hour park. It's not really, you don't really have to spend your whole day there. It's not the longest park ever, and I found that to be bad. I wish that the park was actually a lot more, there was a lot more to do, and of course there's a lot more slides for me to enjoy, but I do like going most of the slides again and again, even if it's the model racers, which I go on every single time. Like, I'll just go like, alright, I gotta win this time, because it's literally just, it has a nice cool racing element to it, but I found the park to be really fun. So, my verdict now. What do I think about Aquatica Orlando, since it's the first Aquatica out of all the Aquatica parks that's finally opened in San Antonio and also in San Diego? Well, I honestly have to say that this park is actually really, really good, and actually, even it's my top two. I'm about to say that possibly Blizzard Beach might be my number one, but I don't know because Typhoon Lagoon is actually under this park. So right now, this park is actually my number one. Typhoon Lagoon is my number two. But I do have to say that Aquatic is one of my favorite parks when I always go down to Florida. Well, now that I'm living in Florida, it's one of my favorite water parks to ever go to at all. I wish I could go there right now, of course, just because it's about $20 just to get into Aquatica, but hey, it's just something I don't really need to do considering sometimes it does rain, and of course right now it looks like it's about to rain outside right now, which I'm just not really looking forward to. However, Aquatica is a really good park, but it doesn't have enough for thrill junkies like myself. I'm a big thrill junkie either if it's a roller coaster or just a water slide. I found that this park could actually use and have a little more than it just already has. I felt that this park needs a lot more thrill rides or thrill slides for people that enjoy thrill slides like myself. But from the fact that the park is actually well made for families, and I found that to be really good, since everybody in the family will be able to enjoy each and every single slide together, I found it to be much more better for the family. So in most part, I found that the park was really good. However, I wish the park can actually grow and actually have a little more slides that I can actually have. But considering that the park is actually not really well built since the back is towards the road and the sides are pretty much towards a parking lot and also towards the interstates, it doesn't make any room for more attractions for the actual park, which means it has a SeaWorld effect as well, which is it's surrounded by hotels and other stuff. For me, I found that this park was actually pretty good, but I wish there was actually more that can come to it, but of course it's not going to be coming any way soon. So, most definitely, I just gotta say that this park is definitely 9 out of 10. Near Disney quality. So, really, that's my end of my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys thought my next theme park review was actually pretty good, considering that this is my part 2 to my theme park review. Anyways, guys, I'm like easy wait. It's 17 minutes going on, so I have to try to cut it down as much as I can, as always. And, of course, I'm your theme park reviewer, and hope to see you guys in episode 6.